let's talk about grabbing a Kavat. Apologies, this is not going to be as smooth as I would have liked because I lost the original intro and things have already been built and installed into the ship already. So anyways, the first thing you're going to need to do is get yourself the Kavat segment for your incubator. Usually it's kind of slotted in that thing right there. And it will be listed when you get one in this little miscellaneous tab just here. Now to find one, you've got two options. So we're going to go on to the star chart here. You can either use, particularly if you're early on, earliest that you can get it is going to be Helene on Saturn. There will be Hyeka Masters that spawn here and they can just drop it. Or alternatively, what is probably the easier way, we can visit the dojo where we can head to the Tenno lab. And provided your clan has it researched, which if you're new, I highly advise that you join a finished clan, you'll be able to purchase it right here. So we'll talk from this screen. You can see the cost that it's going to be to build this. It's going to be 100k in credits. It's expensive, but it's not unreasonable. Argon crystal is easy. We need 120,000 alloy plate, and we need 10 Kavat genetic codes. Let's leave this place. Now then, if you want a good place, in my opinion, to farm your alloy plate, the best place is going to be Gabby. This place drops commonly alloy plate, and this gives you the resource booster to it. You're also going to get Orokin cells here, so it's always busy. It's really easy to find a squad here, and so just give yourself some endurance runs here, get plenty out of it. Obviously, alloy plate drops all over the place. I think you can get it on Jupiter. Really sure you can get it on one of the early planets too, but this is just where you're going to get the highest concentration of it. If you want to mix it up, do some IO on Jupiter so you can get some Oxium alongside it or anything like this. But this isn't really a resource video. I'm just giving you guys a tip. The next thing then is going to be how we gather the Kavat genetic code. Now, I'm sure most people probably kind of flip between the two of Horrend and Flygeus here. I think Horrend is better for Orokin Vaults. I think Flygeus is better for Kavat genetic code. This is because before making this video, I did 5 runs in 3 different modes on these 2 nodes right here. So the first type of run that I did was doing a straightforward run of Horrend, where I would literally just follow the mission. I wouldn't look in any side rooms or anything like this. I would capture the target and then head to the extraction point, and if I found Kavat along the way, then I would obviously capture them. And that gave me a total of 10 scans over 12 minutes, which works out at around 0.8 scans. We'll go through how to scan Kavats and stuff in a second. I'm just putting my point across here. I then did captures on Horrend, looking in all of the different rooms and searching around, and whilst that does give you more per run, it significantly slows down the run. That gave me a total of 13 scans over 28 minutes, which is about half a scan a minute. And then exterminate, I didn't even bother doing the check the rooms thing, so I did 5 runs of Flygeus, just following the mission, so I didn't look in any side rooms or anything like this, and I got 24 scans in 24 minutes, which is 1 per minute, which is just way better in my opinion. So to start getting this genetic code farmed then, what we need to do is we need to have some scanners equipped in our gear wheel. So come over to your gear wheel here in your arsenal and equip them. If you don't have any, these are available from the marketplace. I know people are probably going to talk about the Cephalon scanners, but we're going at this from like a new beginner's perspective. We'll talk about some other things that can speed this up a little bit later in the video. So if you want to come over to the market, type in scanner, and you'll see that we can buy them here. It's 500 for 25 charges, so pretty good. So make sure that's in your gear wheel before you start. And you're going to need to have a Warframe that has some kind of slow or freeze or stop ability. Doesn't do too much damage. So I'm going to be using Limbo for this. Nova probably works. It slows them down by like 75%. Rhino works, but I'm going to be using Limbo just because it's my favorite one for this. Either way, let's get into the mission. All I'm going to do is basically follow the red marker around. I find that basically this game, I don't know if it's just because it's a longer path, but the mission just seems to spawn the Kavats in our path as we go through. I'll try to skip forward to when we find some so you know what to look for. Okay, so here we can see we got the Kavats walking around there. Now, whilst they're calm and invisible and slow, you can probably get away with just scanning them as is. But here we are, we need to get them scanned. Helios, as you can see, won't scan them once the codex entry is fully complete, and you can only do it once per run. I should say once per player, or however you want to call this. In any case, you're going to want to finish them off because if you don't have any Kavats yet, these will be dropping mods for you. So you want to be doing that as you're going through the missions. Yeah, and so just so we can get another example in here, we're going to get another scan. Oop. There we can see that the genetic code actually dropped that time, so I don't think we got one of the last ones. I think that's the only one. This one was already fighting enemies, which is why it's good to have a stun. Enemies will kill them, and that can be a bit of an issue. In addition, I believe if you just run around with a scanner out, you can actually see them through the walls and stuff, much like you can with like the enemies and this kind of thing. So if you want to do that, you can do, but I think because I'm using an exterminate mission, it's not really convenient. Either way, let's go ahead and extract. Okay, so now we have how to get the scans. Let's look at some things that can make this a little bit easy. First, it doesn't count as like a resource, so we can't like use Necros to get extra, but it is affected by resource boosters. So if you do something like Steel Passive, if you're mega late game, you'll actually get a higher drop rate. In addition, if you use like the boosters from the marketplace, you'll get it doubled up and you can make it so that it's twice as likely to drop. I'm obviously using boosters because you guys are telling me that I'm moving too slow, and I feel like that's a good way for me to speed up. I've got 30 days right now to try to get as much done as I can with those boosters on, so I'm going to be making sure I take advantage of that. It's worth noting you're going to need at least 50 of those genetic code. I think it actually works out 49. It's 9 for Cora, 10 to build a segment, and there are 3 Kavats which will need 10 more each. And that's if you get a perfect round on the Kavats. So realistically, you probably want 60 for the Kavats, so you've got a good bit of redundancy there to get the extras. Either way, something else that you can do, again, this is if you have a bit more time in the game, maybe you've been hunting down some of the Samaris targets and you have a bit of standing to spend, you can also go to the relays, and in Samaris's room you'll find this little shop just here. And in here we can get the cross matrix widget, which basically gives you a chance of getting 2 scans for the price of 1 if you use these 10 times more expensive scanners. So if time and resources are not an issue for you, this can be a little bit of an advantage, but I wouldn't like focus on it unless you're like the kind of person that's trying to sell different types of Kavat genetic codes for platinum. I think it's just fine to do it the way that we did it earlier. Either way, that is how you get your Kavat happening. Once you have all of your genetic code gathered, it's exactly the same as doing a Kubro. So you'll just come into here, go into the menu, select new Kavat imprint. It'll be like a tab along the top. I can't show it right now, I'm afraid. It'll say Kavat breeding. We've got it right there, look. And then just incubate it as if you would a Kubro, which also does mean you will need some argon and you will need to make incubator cores. But other than that, that is it. That's how you get Kavats. There are 3. Good luck getting them all. I'm going to try and get them all on this account because it's a really good affinity to have, and the Smeeter is very, very good.